Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new CATIA Design Talk, the webinar series where we explore the latest trend, tool, and techniques in industrial design and engineering using CATIA, the world leading software for product development and innovation. My name is Fabio Ballari, and I have the pleasure of hosting two CATIA Design industry process experts who will share their insight and best practices with us. So welcome to Felix ROCKEL and Andras SZTOJANOVICS. Hi, guys.
Hi, Fabio. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Fabio.
Thanks for joining this call. Together, we will talk about CATIA creative design and the unified digital and collaborative design workflow in CATIA. So can you explain us how exactly this workflow looks like on 3D Experience platform and what makes it so unique?
Yes, Fabio, I brought something to present this. You can see my screen, I hope, right? For me, the biggest benefit that you gain with the 3D Experience platform for a design studio, but this is also true for other departments, is real collaboration without any interfaces. So each profile that you have within a company, within a design studio, comes together on the 3D Experience platform, and to do their job, to do their work, each profile gets its own set of tools, applications. In CATIA V5 back then we called it workbenches. Now on the 3D Experience platform it's applications. So some you might see here that are that you know from CATIA V5, such as generative shape design, imagine and shape, but also on the platform we have new applications like live rendering for the visualization, product perception experience, CATIA ISM design experience, but we will talk about those new applications as well later on during this presentation. But everybody comes together, has its own set of tools, but everybody is always accessing the same data at the same time while they are collaborating through the entire design workflow. And how this actually looks in practice, I want to share with a little video I brought with me. So here we will see the example of creating a design for a coffee machine. Let's say the engineer, studio engineer, puts together the assembly for the design. So the design has the input to produce their visible surfaces on top. So we have an application human design, you see here, to put everything in context of a human and have the right proportions in our design with the human reference. Then we have an application for 3D sketching with natural sketch that you see here, and the designer might sketch first on top of the engineering package to discover the first volumes of the concept design. So now we use, in this example, imagine and shape subdivision surface modeling to produce very quickly our design concept and also try out many different variants in the design process. So while the creative designer is doing that, at any time, any stakeholder, like here in this example, the manager, can access the browser part of the 3D Experience platform and review the current status of the model. So as soon as the creative designer hits save, the manager and everyone can see this data here through the browser without any 3D knowledge, and you see that they can write some annotations, and now the creative designer updates according to this feedback of the manager the design surfaces. And here in this example you see that he creates a little clash, an intersection with the engineering input. So the engineer who has the same or has this design data also, or surfaces also included in his assembly, can see the intersection as well, and he can update accordingly to the intersection or his surfaces. So this might be a vice versa. Maybe at some point it's the engineering who has to update, or at some point the design has to update according to new updates from the engineering. Yeah. So here we see that or how the creative designer continues his work, and add some details with generative shape design. And then at any stage as well on the platform, we have fully integrated visualization now with CATIA live rendering. You can assign materials and review your model in a very decent real-time visualization with textures applied. And then also at any stage, everyone that uses the platform is able to review the data with VR glasses or even on a Powerwall or a cave, just with a click of a button. And as we are really just displaying in VR the real CATIA, the real CAD data, instantly after the review and after taking some decisions in VR, we can update our surfaces accordingly to the decisions taken in virtual reality. So here, meanwhile, while the creative designer might continuously, and also the engineering, work on their geometries and surfaces, the Class A expert can start his work. He doesn't have to wait for the creative design to finish, or for the engineering. He can use the reference from the creative design, which might still evolve, and start to produce his Class A surfaces on top. And yeah, we have applications for this, for the Class A modeling with CATIA iSim, or now iSim Design Experience, our new applications for this. Andras will say some words about this later on. And also a pretty new application is visual scripting, where we can generate those irregular patterns in a very handy way, using those parametric operators that you see here in the graph, in order to produce a very complex pattern in a very easy manner. And as soon as the pattern specialist creates this publish node, the creative designer can just update his model, and instantly he will see the pattern on his design. Here he uses now this human application in order to explore the model, immerse himself into the eye position of the human, and see how the human perceives from this position his product. And then we have also fully integrated simulation on the 3D Experience platform. So the simulation expert, again, he doesn't need to wait until data is passed on to him on the platform. He can just access the same data at any time, and at any stage of the process, he can run his simulations and give feedback to the design and engineering. So according to this feedback from the simulation expert, then the designers and engineers can update their surfaces, as we have always full history in CATIA with producing our models. So updates can be changed, can be created very, very easily. And for me, I need to pause here for a second, because for me, this is here super important. So with the platform and everybody having access to the same data, and they can collaboratively work on the same data at the same time. Of course, there are functions in place where you have control when you actually want to share the data with other colleagues. So I know that designers also have the tendency to want to keep their design for a moment for themselves before they pass it on. But all of those profiles, they work at the same time on the same data. So like this, you move from a sequential workflow where each profile needs to wait for the data which is passed on, to a parallel workflow. And you can gain a lot of time with this. And keep in mind that this is not true for each update cycle. So whenever there is an update cycle, data usually needs to be passed on. But here, with each update cycle, they just instantly see it. They know they have the right reference data, the latest version, and they can apply their changes according to this instantly.
Yeah, that's amazing. This is the first time we have all this collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely, Fabio. And you see here, we have also, just to finish this video, integrated ray tracing on the platform. So you can explore your model under physical correct behavior of lights and shadows. And also, of course, render out images and animations with a render batch. Just a very quick example for that. And then we have another very interesting application that I like personally a lot, and that's product perception experience, where you see here on the right side with those little thumbnails, very quickly create design presentations, create little animations to illustrate the context of your product, and also run through different variants of your product. As you can see here in a second, I think with this grid for the water collector. And yeah, also put your product in context with a human.
Yeah. Usage scenario.
Yeah, we use this a lot for our presentations to our management, for example.
All right. So great example, Felix. We really see that creativity is enhanced, and also this optimized for flow can help studio to create more variants in a given time. So creativity is pushed forward. So I know that CATIA design, as you said, are composed by application, so that are collected on roles. Could we have now a closer look on all application you highlighted during the demo?
Yes, of course. So I prepared something. So hello, everyone. My name is Andras SZTOJANOVICS, and I will give you a short introduction about the creative design applications, what Felix showcased before. So I would start with human design, but I know that human design was covered in the last CATIA Design Talk.
Yeah,
but
true.
Yeah, but if I have to summarize human design, I would say the app is about to understand the proportions between the human and the product better. So this is one of the main capabilities of human design, what I want to emphasize.
Yeah. And also ergonomics. I invite everybody to join the recording, the replay of the last CATIA talk.
Yeah. So then we have a 3D sketching tool called Natural Sketch. And this tool is for exploration before the surface creation. But we have the capability also to create surfaces from the 3D trace curves also, what we can create in Natural Sketch. And this is something what Felix also showed before in his presentation. The next application is about a fast and easy surface creation. And this tool is our subdivision modeling tool, Imagine and Shape. And here we can create surfaces with really good quality, and we can use these surfaces with other tools further, for example, GSD, IDX, or even part design. And IMA is also ideal when it comes to scan modeling. We have super useful features like real-time sectioning or highlight analysis. All right, so let's move on to CATIA Design Experience. CATIA Design Experience is a new application, and it's kind of a mixture of Natural Sketch and Imagine and Shape. So we have the 3D sketching capabilities, but we also have the surface creating tools, what we can create from the sketches, for example. Okay, the next tool will be generative shape design. And this is a really handy tool. So this is a classical surface creation tool with parametric features like fillets, blend surfaces, multi-section surfaces. But I personally use this application in the combination with Imagen and Shape. So my main geometry, for example, the surfaces from the car are made with IMA. And I add some nice details to the main shape with GSD, like fillets, gap lines, and so on. You have a lot of possibilities what you can do with GSD.
Yeah, that's very interesting because you can combine several mathematics like freeform subdivision surfaces modeling with surface parametric modeling and reach this level of detail.
Exactly. We have the fully, these applications are fully associative, and this speeds up our workflow immensely.
And they are compatible together.
Yeah, exactly. We are in a multi-tool friendly environment on the platform, and this is a big benefit. So let's move on in the Class A direction. So we have here the ISIM Design Experience application, which is also a new tool. And we have here the soft parametric feature, which can help us to manage our surface workflow in a smart way. And of course, we can build high quality wires and surface models of Bezier geometries. Then CATIA ISIM shape morphing. This is the original CAS and Class A tool, and it starts with CATIA V5. It's kind of a mixture of ISIM surf with the benefits of the GSD parametrics. So this is also fully associative. And what I want to highlight is that we have here a unique set of diagnostics embedded in the application, like safety analysis, gap comment for parting, flat comment. And these tools are really useful in the automotive design processes, for example.
Yeah, respecting some regulation, also integrated such a kind of notion of regulation and
Exactly. Yeah.
super powerful.
Yeah. Then let's move on to the next tool, which is visual scripting. And Felix also showed this in his presentation. It's super useful when it comes to pattern design. So basically, we are creating a design sequence, and this is a logical flow of comments and functionalities. And the output geometry will be generated automatically according to our design sequence. So we can see here on the left, the pattern of the grill is made by visual scripting. And it's super intuitive because you see the different functionalities in Windows, and with just a click, you can update your model, your pattern. Super powerful,
Yeah,
in my
it's amazing
opinion.
how fast you can create variants of this these
Yeah,
codes and patterns.
exactly. And then we have live rendering. And live rendering is our visualization tool where we can place our product into the product environment. We can assign different materials to each component of our product. We can set up the lights. And in the end, of course, we can create ray traced renderings, which are pretty nice. Then we have product perception experience. And product perception experience is basically a 3D presentation tool. We can predefine different kinds of scenarios of the 3D models what we made or assemblies. We can collect material variants or do some animations, and we can switch between these scenarios just like in PowerPoint between the slides. We just click on the icons on the left or on the right, and this is how we can switch between the scenarios. It's pretty easy. in my opinion, and
Yeah.
super. It's an eye catcher.
Team review, project management review, and etc. So at some point, all this information need to be collected and organized in a sense to be shown to the rest of the team.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is the right tool for it.
Great.
And last but not least, I want to mention that anytime in the process, in any application, we have the access to VR, into virtual reality, but not only to virtual reality, we can also display our designs on power walls or in caves. So this is also a powerful capability to show the design in the best possible quality.
Yeah, and convince also the others, especially
Yes,
for design.
exactly. So this was it. I hope you enjoyed this short introduction about the applications. And
Yeah, thank you, Andras, for this overview on all solutions. So I know you guys that you are using the solution for the collaborative workflow to produce your own concept. So can you show us some of your work?
Yeah, sure. Of course, Fabio. So I want to introduce or show two of our recent projects that we have done on the 3D Experience platform with the exact applications that Andras has shown before, and same workflow that I showed before in my video. So one is this concept car model. You've seen it in some of the videos already, a little sneak preview. So when we do a project like this, and we always work collaboratively on the platform, we usually produce or create a dashboard at first for each project we do. So here we are at the moment, both of us presenting from the same dashboard, Andras and myself. And we, like I said, create dashboards for each project. Here you can create a new project and you can customize it how you need it, and then invite all the people that are involved into a project. And this is really nice way of collaborating. So Andras has shared through the dashboard some very nice sketches that he has produced, and then we use those applications down here to produce the 3D model on the 3D Experience platform. In my video, I also showed that you can display and review 3D data in the browser part of the platform. So you can see this here live. This was the 3D sketch that I created on top of the engineering input. Here this is a very simple engineering input we just did as an example. And here the 3D current status of the 3D model. So this is always the latest status that I see here. As soon as something changes in the concept model and the concept designer hits save, I see those updates instantly here as well. So I know as a manager, for example, that I'm always looking at the latest status of the data.
Yeah. And that's the impressive part, the fact that we are on a web browser, so accessible everywhere, without loading entirely the data. We can just access to the information on a lighter device. That's
exactly
impressive.
Yeah, you can even review this on a tablet, or even here, as it's just in the internet browser, I could run it from my phone. So as a manager, when I'm maybe traveling quite a lot, I could be sitting at an airport and review the current status of my team, and really see the 3D model.
Impressive.
So here you see some renderings that we created out of the 3D Experience platform of this concept car. Keep in mind that while we were working on this, the whole time, Andras is based in Stuttgart, Germany. I'm based in Hamburg, Germany. So it's, 700 kilometers apart from each other. But through the platform, we were able to work on this model at the same time the whole time. And then here, last but not least, the video of the final presentation and product perception experience. This application is also a lot of fun or great to use with a touch screen, because then you can just touch those little thumbnails. We use this a lot at exhibitions, for example, to present our design concepts like this.
Yeah, and I also know that someone is working on Class A surfaces for this car project in Paris. So it's
Great.
German, French,
Collaboration, great.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Love it. So the other model that I brought, just to not show only automotive content here, is an aerospace cabin that we have produced. This was back then together with my former colleague and now manager Thomas Walle. We worked together on this, again, using the same application and workflow on the 3D Experience platform to collaboratively produce this model together. Here again, you can review the 3D data. And we use the same applications as shown before by Andras. So here we place the human in the empty cabin, and then we start to sketch around with natural sketch around the human, this first class aerospace cabin. And then subdivision surface modeling, using the sketch as the first reference, and then subdivision surface modeling to produce very quickly the model and explore lots of different variants. Then live rendering for the visualization to assign materials. And at any stage, just with a click of a button, we are able to review our data in virtual reality, which is, of course, very helpful for the evaluation of the model and to be sure to have the right proportions. And then as well, we created some renderings that you can see here of this first-class cabin.
This is very important also because seat design in aerospace, there are a lot of regulations, so you have to load really technical constraints, and having this all the time in mind while you are designing the aesthetical aspect of this product.
Yeah. This is a very good example, Fabio, that you mentioned here. So especially when there are a lot of regulations to keep in mind, the collaboration becomes a even more important part, right? Because you need to have specialists for the different regulations, looking at your data, giving feedback. So here the collaboration with the platform is super helpful.
Yeah, okay, great. So thank you, Felix and Andras. Now, while we are showing again the demo of the concept car and aerospace cabin, I would like to open the Q&A session. So please type your question in the comment and we will answer them. Don't be shy. Any questions? Someone on the web. Yes, we have a question. So how long does it take you to generate a product like a car or a space cabin on the 3D Experience platform to the status of design you presented today?
I can take this question. So the car, for example, was a collaboration between us with Felix. And this was, if I remember correctly, 3 days of work. did mainly the 2D ideations, and I gave a little bit 3D input for Felix. Yeah, but this was we had to do it fast. But of course, with the platform, you are super flexible. You can communicate super easy, and you have always the latest data. So it wasn't so hard because, yeah, the platform is clear, easy to understand. By the way, this was our first collaboration with Felix.
True.
Yeah, but I think 3 days, maybe 4.
Yeah, also, so he did produce all the sketches and gave a lot of input to the surfaces that I created. But in addition to that, while I was modeling the body, he was modeling the rims, for example, right? So you save, that's the collaboration that I mentioned before. You know, you save a lot of time because you don't need to pass on data. You can really work on the same model, at the same time.
So you cut off all the data import exports or data loss phases. Yeah, I see that. Sometimes we have a knowing workflow with point solution from the market that the daily reality of a design studio in a sense. All right, maybe we have other questions from the web. In product perception experience, can you use kinematic animation from existing CATIA mechanism, or do you need to redo them?
So you can use of course, you can use the kinematic animations as well in product perception experience and reuse those kinematics in order to produce the animations for the presentation. You can also produce new animations in product perception experience itself. So you don't need to produce first kinematics, but you can reuse them, which is, of course, very time-saving.
Okay. Super technical for the experts. Feel free to take benefit of. Okay, Stanislas, it's quite difficult to sketch with a mouse. Is it possible to use a tablet with the platform?
Yeah, so we have great 3D sketching tools like Natural Sketch, but also in Creative Design Experience, we can do 3D sketches, and both applications are supporting drawing tablets. And of course, if you have the possibility to use a drawing tablet, I would definitely recommend to do that. I personally use it on daily basis, and it makes the work more fun.
Yeah, sure. More natural as well. So the way you are used to work, you also have some sensitive captures on the
pressure
pen.
sensitivity.
Yeah, pressure, exactly. So maybe we recommend to use this for Natural Sketch, of course.
Yeah, and the sketches will be more honest. It's hard to explain, but of course, it's like drawing like you draw on a paper. So
especially the designer used to cheat with proportion and thing, and with Natural Sketch is a little bit more complicated to cheat because the proportion are really driven also by the 3D of the I would say the package of the car or whatever the package of the final product.
Yeah, exactly. But you can also be artistic, and this is the cool thing. You have the exact proportions, and you can be artistic in the 3D sketch.
And at the end, the final product really looks like the very first sketch. So at the end, we also can reach a better consistency between the initial idea and the final car on the street or the final other product in the street.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So please take benefit of those two experts live with us today. All right, if there is no other question, we can get to the conclusion of this call. So thank you for joining us today for the CATIA Design Talk. A special thank you to you, Felix and Andras, for sharing your expertise and insight with us. We hope you found this webinar informative and engaging, and that has inspired you to explore new possibilities in industrial design and engineering using CATIA. Remember, you can watch the replay of this talk in our CATIA Creative Design and Styling community. You have the link here in the screen. And continue the conversation with Felix, Andras, and other experts in the field. Simply register to the community for free and gain access to a wealth of resource, insight, and best practices. So we have appreciated your participation. We appreciate your participation, and we look forward to seeing you again on our next CATIA Design Talk. And until then, have a great day and keep innovating with CATIA. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.